actually in a unique situation because I also have an ice bath here at the property. I have an old freezer that I converted to an ice bath, and I've totally like repurposed that guy. Like I've sanded it, I've sealed the seams, I've got temperature gauges, I've got pumps, I've got filters, I've got all that kind of stuff. But that took me a really long time to set up, and so I will be able to offer a little bit of insight in terms of a compare and contrast between the two. But I do want to focus primarily on the ice barrel itself. So let's talk about the product design first and foremost, and then we'll hop in and we'll have a little bit of fun. This thing is awesome. The way they've designed the product, they've clearly spent a lot of time on this. Like the engineers and the manufacturers, like they got together and they were like, all right, what is going to give the plunger, the user, the best end user experience? And they've done a terrific job just from the design standpoint. Black color was an excellent choice because it feels cool when you're inside. And I don't mean like literally cool, although it's going to feel that too. I mean like it feels kind of awesome with it being black. And now I think they've just recently released a desert tan color, so they're kind of diversifying their color scheme a little bit. But I don't know, man. I think you just go ride or die with the black. But that's just me. The actual design of the ice barrel itself, it feels pretty tanky. Like it feels really sturdy. I mean, it's filled up with water now, so I'm not going to be able to move it. But it is only about 60 pounds, and so when I actually unboxed this guy and I unpacked this guy, it felt really light. Like I was easily able to one-man it from, the FedEx drop-off point there in the front of the house back here to the back patio area. That was not a problem. But then once I actually felt the material, I don't know if it's just like commercial grade plastic. I don't know exactly what they're using to create this guy, to produce this guy. But man, it is going to be weatherproof. And I live in St. Pete, man. So we've got hurricane season, 10 weeks out of the year. And so I'm not worried about this guy at all. I'm not worried about my ice barrel. It's going to be perfectly fine. From a dimension standpoint, it's about 3.5 feet tall. So I'm only 5'7", and you can see that I'm towering over the ice barrel, right? But once you get inside, as you guys are going to see here in a second, you're able to sink down, and your buoyancy and the buoyancy of the water allows you to assume a pretty comfortable position. And for me, I'm 5'7", about 200, 205, 209, right, COVID style. And so I can fit in this thing pretty comfortably. Like I have plenty of room. It feels pretty roomy. That's not really an issue either. So from a product design standpoint, I would give this thing a 5 out of 5. I would absolutely give this thing a 5 out of 5. It looks cool. It feels sturdy. And not only that, guys, but again, I've got the freezer that I'm actually using as the tripod for the camera. But I've got the freezer right there. And that thing is big, man. It's big. It's bulky. It's hard to find a good spot for that. Right? Like I'm lucky because, living in Florida year round, I keep it outside. It's not that big of a deal. And the way our house is set up, there's a really good spot for it. But if you were in like an apartment or a condo, as the wind kicks up, hopefully you guys can still hear me. If you were in an apartment or a condo or some shared living space, like that's not really going to be a great option for you. Like, just dropping your Kenmore in the middle of the den with your 3 roommates, it's probably not going to work. Like you're probably going to have to find a different solution. But this thing is so compact. And like when you put the lid on, I've got the lid sitting over there. When you put the lid on it, like it looks cool. It looks cool. It's a good icebreaker for company coming over, right? It'll start up a lot of really cool conversations, and then before you know it, you guys are plunging, man. Like before you know it, you guys are in. You guys are supersetting back and forth, and it's a good time to have by all. So it's always tricky to figure out how much water to put in, and so sometimes that'll happen. But the dunk is the key. Yeah. Wow. It's just amazing. It's amazing. It's an incredible feeling. And so I really wanted to, get in here. It's probably only about 50 degrees. Yeah, it's about 50. So I wanted to give you guys, kind of a genuine feel. Kind of a genuine type of deal inside of here. And without getting into the cold plunge experience itself, because again, I don't really want to focus on that here today. Although again, it totally changed my life. The ice barrel itself. So right now I'm in kind of a wall sit position. So, you know, like normally if you're doing a wall sit, like from an exercise standpoint, you're kind of like, ooh, man, like I kind of want this to stop, like right now. But right now I'm in a wall sit. There's nothing inside of here other than water and ice, and I don't feel any tension on my legs because of the buoyancy, because of the, you know, the surface tension of the water, whatever. It just it feels really good. What else? Breaking down through the ice. Obviously, my brain is not as sharp as it might be when it's, you know, not 50 degrees. Breaking down through the ice, and this is actually take 2. I already spent 6 minutes in here, but the wind was really bad and y'all couldn't hear me, so I wanted to do it again. Breaking down through the ice. It's such a cool feeling. Like breaking on down through the ice like I did when I got in and then I dunked. It feels like you're in nature. Like it feels like I just jumped into a pond out in the middle of the forest, and you know, when I get out of here I've got to go, you know, find dinner, like that type of deal. And it's really cool, man. It really allows you to kind of connect with nature in a really special way. And you know, normally when I'm in here, I can say too that in this upright position, it is more natural than the position that I would assume in the chest freezer over there. So in the ice bath that I have, standing like this, it is more natural. It does feel maybe a little bit more comfortable. And so like if I was in here normally, I could just rest my head on the back, which is super nice. And now you just, you know, you breathe, you think, you lament your situation. You know, whatever direction you want to take it in, you can take it in that direction. And it feels very roomy. Like I have lots of room. I mean, here are my hands, you know, they're still here. And it's really, really cool. And you don't have to dunk your whole body. Like you can bring your shoulders up. You can put your arms on the outside. You know, to get the full experience, I kind of like to be fully submerged. And I know a lot of other people do too. But, yeah, man, it's a really, really well put together product. You know, I probably should have, I couldn't get myself in the frame well, and also me getting in the frame really, really well. But I probably should have showed how to get in and or get out. But you guys won't really be able to see that because of the framing. Maybe we'll do that at a different time. But it's not that hard. You just kind of shimmy over the sides, and it's really not that big of a deal. So from an experience standpoint, and the way we're starting to keep up stuff, it's on point, man. All right, so we're out. We dried off. We warmed up a little bit, which was nice. And so, a couple of final thoughts here on the ice barrel. I love everything about it. I love everything about the product. I think the experience is amazing. I think the way it's built is incredible, and I really, really like it. I look forward to getting into my ice barrel. I usually hop into the ice barrel maybe once a week or so. The only drawback, right? There is a drawback with this, and it's a fairly significant one, right? Like if you're in an apartment, condo, whatever, it's a great option for you. The big drawback is keeping the water cold. The big drawback is, you know, you get a couple of days out of it, right? And if you're in a colder climate, it might be even a little bit more than that. Like the water cleanliness and the sanitation and all that kind of stuff, that's a problem no matter what you use. So I didn't even want to focus on that here today because it doesn't matter. It's going to be the same whether you have a chest freezer, whether you have an ice barrel, you're doing hydrogen peroxide, you're doing Epsom salts, you've got ozone generators, you've got whatever's. That's a whole separate deal that we can talk about another time. That's not going to be anything unique to the ice barrel. Every single ice receptacle is going to struggle with that. But the ice barrel, keeping the water cold, is a little bit tricky. For my daily driver, because I plunge every single day, sometimes twice a day, the freezer that I've repurposed is a better solution for me. Now, that took me a long time to do, though. The ice barrel was amazing. The FedEx guy dropped it off. I was plunging within 90 minutes. Right? Like, I unboxed it. I went up to Publix. I grabbed some ice. I was in. I got the water down to, 50, 47, 48 degrees. Not too difficult. It wasn't too difficult to do that. And I was ready to go. With the freezer, it was a whole different deal, man. I had electricians out here. I had to seal the seams with silicone. And I'm not a super handy guy just by nature. So it was a lot more challenging for me. So if you're looking for something, if you are a little bit handier, or a lot bit handier, and you're looking for something where you're going to plunge all the time, and you want it to be kind of a set it and forget it whatever, and you're willing to invest potentially a ton of time into repurposing something, then something like a chest freezer might be a better option for you long term. But I'll tell you guys, man, If you want something that's more plug and play, and you don't mind spending a couple bucks on some ice, and you locate your ice guy in whatever town you happen to live in, the ice barrel is going to be a great option for you, man. The ice barrel is going to be a great option for you. I highly recommend this product, and I highly recommend cold plunging just in general. Right? If you want to see what it feels like, take some cold showers. Right? You're going to scream. You're going to shriek. You're going to be a little embarrassed at some of the emotions that you feel, but it's a good start. It's how we all start. And so that's it. That's the ice barrel review. If you guys want to like, share, subscribe, that would be amazing. And I'll see you guys next time.